to us. We're lying to ourselves. A hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster.
Okay, so the plot is confusing. And basically, the whole game is like that. You know, not too difficult to understand at face value, but if you dive into the lake, you might not ever find the bottom. Like some authors, they might be slightly past their prime, trying to make a comeback tend to do. We play as Jessie Faden, just a girl trying to find her brother that happens to walk into a secret government bureau dedicated to supernatural shit. As normal with these style of videos, we do have a spoiler warning to tend to. That was it. Moving on. Oh no! Was that a gunshot? Yes. Yes, it was. And with that, we became the director of the bureau. And we got our first trophy for obtaining the service weapon. Choose to be chosen. Now, unfortunately, your YouTuber might be brain damaged and put his face cam exactly where the trophies happen to pop. And the cherry on top is your YouTuber's PC being a nuclear bomb that would most definitely be set off by recording multiple tracks at the same time. My GoFundMe, and yes, they will be blocked out for the whole video. But don't worry, I got you covered. All right, and just as a punishment, I'll zoom in on the trophy pop-up anyways, just so you guys can see my not so beautiful face. Now, this base game has 47 total trophies, including the platinum, but we also have the foundation add-ons, which has 10 trophies, and the altered world events, which has another 11 trophies. And I will be obtaining all of those, or shall I say I did obtain all those. Okay, keep watching, motherfuckers. This astral plane does have quite a correlation to the story, but to simplify it, it's their way of introducing new things in a tutorial aspect. We make it to the central hub, which is exactly what the name says. It's where the bureau set up shop and where we meet Emily Pope. Gives the vibe she knows everything, she's in charge thing, but also super nice, so unique video game persona, I suppose. Basically, this whole game was spent with some level of confusion on the story, so this kind of interaction was as common as my dad being gone. So when we cleanse an area, we're cleansing it from... That's what I need to figure out. Emily then proposes we try to save a lady that is possessed by the hiss, the antagonist substance, I suppose you could call it, of this game. It did not work. She did not look very cleansed. We sit down and tell Emily that the real reason we found our way in here was to find our brother, whom we were separated from after an incident with an item of power. Quick little autistic breakdown here. This game is like an iteration of the multiverse. Like if the multiverse was real and we had a you know, like a government at least that knew about it. These so-called items of power are literally that. Random objects from coffee mugs to refrigerators can be IOP. Wait, oh, hold on a second. It might be objects of power. It's objects of power. It's I don't know. Same shit. The game also clarifies multiple times that the scientists don't even fully understand this shit, so I really don't know why I'm over here feeling slow all the time. Oh wait, maybe it's because this is the explanation I get when I ask for myself.
Can you tell me?
I've never played any of them for myself.
Exactly. This is all, well, new to me. Don't worry, I love going over the basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the period.
She's spitting.
Got it?
Did she memorize this?
So they're objects that are mundane that can be controlled in the astral plane. That seems like simple enough. Anyways, some of these items can be pretty harmless, but some can also be really bad. Back to what I was saying, okay? Emily tells us that she has heard something about our brother who goes by Dylan, and that means that everything here is now completely our problem. And I'm here for it because I love video games and I love trophies. And most importantly, I love seeing those 3 likes 4 months after hitting upload. But I'm going to throw my first ever like goal out there right now. I'm going to see if I can get at least 10 of you beautiful souls to scroll down and hit that thing. So boom, we got 10 likes. We got our second trophy for completing our first mission. And I lied because I actually turned my camera off for the okay, and caught a full glimpse of this one. Welcome to the oldest house. Complete mission 1. Our first stop in finding Dylan was the communications department, where we clear out some enemies and find an object of power. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Okay, so how do I approach this? Do I like... Fondling the air around it sucked me into the void again so I could be taught how to do a new ability, which is basically telekinetically grabbing and throwing things. Completing the tutorial on it grants us another trophy just before slamming us with another wave just to make sure we understand for sure without question. I don't know how I feel. Paranatural powerhouse. Obtain the launch ability. Sick. I'm just going to start launching these things. Do they blow up? These don't blow up. Oh, thanks. An hour and 20 minutes from our first trophy at the start of the game, we hit our 40th collectible. So basically half my playtime my first night was spent reading, and honestly maybe half of my total playtime by the end of the game. But I will say they were not boring reads. When we eventually made it to the hotline chamber, we learned that pulling light strings 3 times is the equivalent to tapping your sparkly red heels together, at least if you want to end up at like Motel 6. This is the cord. Oh, we're fine. After using my minimum wage janitorial experience to freshen up the rooms, we snap back to the real world where a bridge has now spawned, allowing us easy access to the hotline object of power. And then we got it. Oh my goodness, there was no bridge and then we just did that. And there was a bridge in the painting and then we went back through. Holy fuck. Which, in editing, I was able to see, allows you to contact extra dimensional entities. Although I recollect 0% of that while I was actually playing. It's literally the tab name of where all the visual logs go, by the way. Anyways, completing the little parkour session in this tutorial world and dropping back by to update Emily completes mission 2. Unknown caller. Complete mission 2. Can I even like... I'm innocent. I live in a legal state. I literally stepped out of the room with Emily and unlocked my first ability tree upgrade, and 2 seconds later constructed my first new weapon. Harach. How do you... What the fuck is that? Paratillarian? Parautilitarian. Bro, ain't nobody knows what that means. Then I can astral construct the shatter, construct a weapon former mod. Our next goal was to make it to the maintenance sector and find Ati the janitor. On the way, we find this creepy ass cartoon that's actually deep as fuck, but we can get into that later, assuming I remember, or fight my laziness if I forget, and then reading this back reminds me. Anyways, we find Ati and he basically sends us to work. First day on the job and the maintenance man sends you to fix the power plant. Brother, I was a DoorDash driver. I'm not no bitch though, so I was gonna do my best anyways. Briefly, after arriving to the power plant, we fought a wave of enemies and chopped it up with the homies before cleansing our 5th control point and snagging another trophy. A good person? It is. Holy shit. Holy shit, I have friendlies. Ritualistic thinking. Cleanse 5 control points. One of those homies from a second ago is a Riche. We like this guy, he's cool. But this motherfucker sends me to repair more stuff that we're definitely not qualified to repair. But such is life, I suppose. Unfortunately for my imaginary friends in my Twitch streams, I repaired the pumps and pumped the brakes on my functionality for the night. We started off the next night trying to find out how to override the damn lockdown, but on the way, found a very unique training course for a side mission.
Get ready, Ranger. Course starting in 5.
I think it's actually kind of funny.
3, 2, 1.
Inside the course, we find an object of power in the form of a safe. When we attempt to cleanse it, we get sent to the upside down again. If you care to take a gander, I bet you would probably guess that we are getting something new. Shield ability, baby. Something with how the visuals and mechanics feel is just smoother than my butt cheeks after a hot bubble bath, bro. Yes, I take those self-care kings. Insular telekinesis. Obtain the shield ability. They tried to catch me slipping right after, too, but I was too moisturized and lost my 50th enemy into permanent darkness. Actually, I don't know how these hiss things work, technically, but here's hoping. Unstable matter. Kill 50 enemies with the launch ability. Dude, I'm just racking things up. 20 minutes of exploring later, I found another cleanse point. I don't know why I keep saying cleanse point. They're control points. And made my way up to the override switch and shutting off the lockdown. Once again, we needed to go speak with Emily, but not before taking out the trash. These devs are out here creating Matthew Murdochs for sure, brothers. I tapped my boots together to get back to the control point, slapped on some more skill points, and fast traveled back to speak to Emily. She tells us that Marshall may know more about our brother Dylan, so our new goal becomes finding her.
All I know is that Marshall went to the research sector to secure the HRA production.
This is as far as I've been.
So, Marshall seems like our best lead on Dylan.
What the fuck? Okay. Directional override. Complete mission 3. Well, that's the goal the game gave us, but right now is when the completionist in me starts to hit because they opened up the map and started throwing me side quests. And when I get side quests, I do side quests. And thankfully we do, because if I wasn't that kind of person, who knows how long I would have missed out on this evade ability and the trophy that comes with it.
Why is kid stuff always so creepy?
That's true. Kid shit is always creepy. About like dolls and like toys out in the woods and shit, like anywhere really. I can evade now. I didn't know that they were just gonna throw grenades.
Let's see the hiss keep up with me.
Shifting positions. Obtain the evade ability. I started doing another side quest and ran into this big dude with a grenade launcher, but that shit is kind of ass when your enemy has telekinesis, because then you can do stuff like this. Proper handling procedures. What is that? Use launch to throw a grenade or rocket. Oh, fuck. We pushed on to clear a clog for our boy Ati. Come to find out, this clog is not from anything inanimate. Yes, this clog is a whole ass gunk monster with like parasitical penises coming out of him. Normal day on the job, I guess. And apparently paperwork is also very normal, because within like 2 to 3 hours of playing, I was already reading my 80th collectible. And I read chat. So like, record keeper, collect 80 collectibles. Now, the motherfuckers that have played this game know what I'm about to step into, but I didn't at the time, so I proceeded to get lost for an hour in a maze that I literally couldn't even progress through yet. We still love Ashtray Maze, though. Don't get me wrong. Shout out another creepy cartoon over here, too.
Building shifts occur at random and without warning, but with the Bureau's cutting-edge technology, we can stabilize the oldest house. Safe employees.
I was still on my way to find Marshall when I got an alert there was an executive order or some shit. So I put on my geriatric pants and got to work, making the Bureau great again. Yeah, one alert at a time, you know what I'm saying? First on the scene. Yellow rooms with chairs and safety glass tells us we are in parapsychology and that everything happening is totally humane and that definitely didn't turn our brother into Hannibal Lecter. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Our next control point in this area happens to be our 10th. Ritual intuition, cleanse 10 control points. And then we run into a ball of rage that has no counter. Like they're literally invincible. Thankfully, we were able to lock it into a fortified room and open up our way to Marshall.
She got that right.
But we finally find her just to get redirected to clear out more hiss and reach Darling's lab, who is the head scientist that randomly went missing.
I can clear out the hiss. I'll be your firepower.
Before doing that, though, I activated a side quest, fought some hiss, cleansed some more control points, and then something happened. The hardest part of the game. The worst enemy at the most unexpected time. Hold on, chat.
Yeah, I'm taking over. You're not getting Seth back. This is my playthrough now. He has to discipline the dog for peeing on the floor, and now I am here to save the day. Maybe I shouldn't touch anything. We're fine.
Let's just say she's recently retired. No, but real talk, she just started streaming on Twitch. So even if you have no plans on watching, you know, go click a couple buttons and help my girl out. Okay. I just had to be louder so she could hear that. You know what I'm saying? After cutting the snakes out of the grass, we happened across the HRA lab and triggered the main mission accidentally, like my conception, and figured since I was already here, I might as well just knock it out. Unfortunately, this simple puzzle takes an hour when your last 2 brain cells are being that forcibly compressed behind a beanie. After activating all of my brain power, I can't do this. After activating all of my brain power to complete the equivalent of tic-tac-toe, we learned that Marshall does know things about our brother, but we were just gonna have to wait to find out because doing everybody else's job for them is drastically more important. And then our character has the audacity to say,
Dylan, we'll have to wait just a little longer.
bro, when she sees Dylan, she's gonna feel bad as hell. But I don't give a fuck. I'm just here for the trophies. Huh. That area looks crazy. Old Boys Cub, complete mission 4. Mission 4 in the bag, baby. Resuming the side mission I was doing before I was rudely interrupted by my real responsibility, I found a bunch of dudes just duding around, looking like they had just seen Medusa. But like, if I was comparing things in this game to Greek mythology, that would probably be almost an exact crossover to this X-ray machine. God damn it. Thankfully, this thing has given us the power to take over, or rather control, enemies that you can get to a low HP. It's called Compel, and it might be the ability that I use the absolute least during this playthrough. But it popped back-to-back trophies, one for obtaining the ability and one for completing 5 side missions. Sidekick occupation, obtain the Compel ability. The importance of synergy, complete 5 side missions. Our next main goal was to make it to the mine thing we saw in the end of Mission 4 cutscenes. Armed with our new Compel ability, that's where we started heading. After hitting the 10th dude with our WandaVision, we got the Cognitive Intruder trophy. I'm just taking over as many people as I can. Cognitive Intruder, compel 10 enemies with the Seize ability. When we get to the right area, Arish tells us that the resource at the mine is actually what is needed to make the camera looking best things that help keep the agents safe, and that there is some sort of monster that we have to deal with. Arriving, we find the material we are looking for broken, of course, and they hit us with an invisible enemy. Why does every game gotta have a damn invisible enemy? Stop it. As far as some games take them, these are kind of light work though. I was just talking about this, bro. Why does every single game have to have an invisible enemy and a suicide enemy like that? Like the other ones. Every single game. I mean, I get that there's only like so many iterations of things you can do, right? I fully understand that. But it's like games go to, man. They gotta get that invisible enemy in there. 120 unguided collectibles already, by the way. It didn't feel that intense at all, by the way, but my god, does it sound like a lot. Right after getting this YouTube tutorial breakdown, we're going to snag a level 5 clearance badge and make our way back to the quarry, cleansing another control point when we get there. I feel like this section of the game was very parkour based, or at least that's how my brain took it based on my excessive need to explore every corner and crevice. Paranatural collection. Collect more than 100,000 source. Oh yeah. Ooh. All that for that one little piece. And with that, we made our way back to Marshall after doing a little bit more exploring. And completed mission 5 and dropped a few more skill points that ended up unlocking the 3rd and final mod slot. Then we did the unthinkable. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here on this. And then the next day I was back on the main goal of trying to find our brother Dylan. But first I had to stop by this room with unique lucky items in it because I didn't have the clearance the last time I was here. There was a little puzzle to do that was pretty cool too. Right there, but there's no ball. Holy shit. It rolls 7 every time. Sadly, next we came across our boy Horowitz. Now, I don't know Horowitz or anything, but he has a cool ass name and he is an injured comrade, okay? We have to help him. I mean, the quest is literally called A Matter of Time. He wants us to go find another dude from his team that is a medic, ironically enough, right? This endeavor includes having to traverse the motel that does weird shit and grants us access to places. It's actually cool though because the location is very recurring, but every time there's a unique puzzle to solve. This one happens to be clocks. After traversing the motel, we find our medic attempting to render aid, but unfortunately failing. I'm trembling for Horowitz right now, I'm not gonna lie. Escorting him back, we see him use a level 9 clearance, and right there I start questioning if I can just render aid to Horowitz myself, if you know what I'm saying. There's also like an insane amount of clocks here, because there's a clock object of power that keeps duplicating itself. When we get back, we find Horowitz still kicking, except as a hiss-infected boss, so RIP to saying that cool-ass name anymore. But in honorance of him, and 100% in total selflessness, I immediately turned around and went back to the safe room they locked, and the object of power that was inside of it. But I didn't have the skills to reach it, so we'll have to remember his name until we can honor him later.
P6 is what the Bureau calls Dylan. His cell's been breached. Has the Hiss found him? Are you there with him? Can you protect him?
Wait, E6 is Dylan, so he's actually like turbo dangerous. They literally have him in a fucking shelter entitled something. What in the fuck? Yeah, so that's the update on Dylan. Another motel puzzle later, and we're at the place where our brother's cell is. But first, we have to talk to this dipshit. Think like rich kid attitude that expects you to just do things for them, except also maybe a little slow, so you'd almost feel bad not helping them. Nah, I don't know if he was that bad, but I started to get annoyed after this dude asked me, or rather expected me to do the 37th thing in a row for him. This area was cool as fuck to me though. They hold a bunch of different objects in rooms, one of which happens to be this refrigerator. Anytime someone looks away from it, crazy shit happens. And it seems our boy with the awful comb over has forgotten about one of his employees.
In there.
Oh, thank God. Look, someone has to watch this object at all times, or it deviates. My shift replacement never showed up. Can you help me? Just don't forget, I can't stare at this thing much longer.
Bro is going literally insane in here. We will be right back, sir. I promise. Trust me. When we get to the 4th floor, we find a disturbing scene. Concerning. And at the end of the hall, we find the TV object of power we were searching for comb over. I stepped into a scene from Doctor Strange and took on a wave or few of Hiss before actually being able to cleanse it. Are we done or is it going to continue on? Are you serious right now? No, no, remember, this is a good thing. Now we can almost freely traverse without worrying about parkour. Newsflash. Rising thought. Obtain the levitate ability. This also now allows us to, well, I guess, parkour. Son of a bitch. So we get to jumping up to the 5th floor where Dylan's maximum security cell is. I'm just going to let this next cartoon play just so you can understand better what they've been putting him through.
TV! Let's watch Donkeys in Space!
Donkeys in space.
It's not safe! But Star Captain Eagle! Can I poke it with a stick? Okay. Bureau rule number 74.
You got no control, bruh.
Always be suspicious of things that weren't there before. What?
Dude, these things are
Looks safe
so
to me.
creepy.
Donkeys in space! Wait, it's not even plugged in!
Dude, it really gives me like bad vibes. But I'm sure seeing his living quarters and maybe how he acts would tell you enough.
He might be nearby. Or maybe the hiss got to him. I don't know.
Jesse, listen. Dylan's here. With us. He just walked in. He says he is giving himself up. He's been affected by the hiss, but he is different than the others. We must isolate him.
I'm on my way.
Finishing that little chat also finished mission 6, giving us the My Brother's Keeper trophy. I proceed to spend an hour of real-life time listening to him blabber hiss gibberish.
Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that. I'm P6. P6. But I'm better now. The hiss made me better. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to
stop
be
that?
true.
Please.
This guy's fucked up.
They found. They opened the door up to the hiss.
That's the one thing we got out of Dylan's convo, was that he wanted us to know they had planned on her being P7 if it came down to it.
Is this what Dylan wanted me to see? It doesn't matter.
We were supposed to be P7. Oh no! The next day I woke up and threw on the outfit they planned on locking me up in just to flex on them a little bit. I made it to the synchronicity lab where we prayed that the mannequins were going to remain in that room. I then cleansed my 25th control point and snagged a trophy for that before solving a puzzle and cleansing a mirror. The puzzle admittedly took way too long and left me feeling slightly slow. Feels like I've said that more than once in this video. Once we figured it out though, I stepped through the mirror and into the exact same place except different. And dialogue starts happening backwards and we see a red version of ourselves behind glass and, well, dead her? Holy shit.
That better be all of them.
Oh my god.
They locked this
And we get rewarded for the self-sacrifice, I guess. We can now cleanse the mirror.
with this thing.
And we have enough stuffs to upgrade our first weapon to level 3. On standard issue, upgrade any weapon form to level 3. We completed a side quest called Old Friends from Arish before doing another board countermeasure. This one was the 5th and popped a trophy. Crisis management, what is that? Complete 5 bureau alerts, okay. I progressively did these throughout the game because we were going to need to do 25 of them to get the platinum. We love Arish, and that is why we want to go check out the jukebox that he told us about. I didn't know that this was part of the Foundation add-on stuff at the time, so I grinded it out. There are like 3 levels inside the jukebox that all take you to a place called the Foundation, where there are 3 different difficulty levels that just add an extra modification to either you or the hiss. I literally don't think there were any trophies for this shit, but I tunnel visioned on the fact that the last one unlocked an outfit. And I am not shitting you when I say this. This was the most annoying and potentially hardest part of this game. Every level is the same 4 islands with the same 4 tasks. The left island is capturing points. The middle left island is killing enemies. The middle right is capturing more points, kind of. And the right island is burning hiss in a furnace or some shit. And boys, when I tell you, this shit has a 25-minute timer, and I failed while I was running back from the last task. Where the fuck is the piece? I found it. No fucking way I gotta make it back in 7 seconds or I fail. I'm gonna... So anyways, I mean, that's not the worst. I also did still make trophy progress because I ended up killing my 1000th hiss while I was in there. So after spending 4 hours doing that bullshit, I remembered that the refrigerator guy was still in there. So we told Langston, the fridge guy's boss, who then tells us he completely forgot about him. Not guilty. And then we go to cleanse the fridge to save this guy from dying to sleep deprivation in his 24-hour cold storage job. Somewhere a blue-collar worker is screaming, "Pussy!" But then the fridge eats him or something because bro is dead. Bro. And when we cleanse the fridge, we figure out the real culprit for eating him. Former. Astral phenomena. Defeat former. That was really easy. And then, like I was saying earlier, this motherfucker Langston just brushes off his dead employee due to him and just tells us to go contain more objects for him. On the way to the next control point, I completed a board order and then claimed the reward and the trophy for doing 5 of them. Collect this one. War games. Complete 5 board countermeasures. And then I started cleansing items for the guy. Listen, I never said I wanted to help this guy. I needed to. Cool little thing. One of the objects was a clock that duplicated 9 million times from the previous missions with our boy Horowitz. We also cleanse a hand chair that is actually a hand and play red light, green light with a traffic light. Sick. You'll never believe what happens next, though. He tells us to cleanse 3 more things. No shit. But before doing that, I continued to turn myself into Thanos and spent my 50th ability point. Expert Paratolitarian and 50 ability points. Trippy mannequin sequence, temple run, followed by another boss fight with former, except 6 times because I'm ass. Oh, I didn't know he breaks the floor of the map. It's like I just bled out or something. Thank you. And a rubber ducky. Holy fuck,
Disappearing ducks.
And the thanks we get is him saying he knows who to call if he needs more help.
And if I have any more runaways, I'll know just who to call.
Okay, dude. Our next goal became cleansing another object, except this time not for Langston. This time we were doing it for Horowitz. God, I can't let that name die. But in the mission that had led to his demise, he locked up the anchor that we couldn't get to. But now we can levitate. and in one try we take it down and complete our 15th side mission. Living archetypes defeat the anchor. Sick. Continuing on with the main story, we start searching for the slide projector. It's the object of power that Jesse and Dylan had an interaction with as kids that started this whole thing with them. We make it to the scientist's lab where we thought it was going to be, but of course we just get rerouted because they needed to stack up the playtime.
Darling took the projector to the research sector. He dedicated a whole area to it, so he knew it was important. Dimensional research. That's where we go next.
Interesting. Okay. The face of the enemy. Complete mission 7. So, having completed mission 7, I checked out what I thought was a side mission that actually turned out to be one of the DLC missions. And we got to experience some sick tie-ins to Alan Wake. Despite my actual hate for the first game, I loved this shit. For the sake of time, I'm going to keep the description simple with the extra shit. Matter of fact, most of it will be in cleanup anyways, so let's just jump back to the part of the game that I couldn't stop hearing about from my viewers. The ashtray maze. And man, did it not disappoint. Well, when it was actually time. So, instead, we go find Auntie, who is literally vacationing inside of a painting. We speak to him and then have to follow his visions all the way to the damn quarry, where my girlfriend managed to get us across while I tripped out over the size of the worms that were outside.
The worms?
Dude, the amount of worms, and they're all giant. I'm hand on the ground. My hand was on the ground.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Wait.
It looks bigger in person.
Chat, you gotta see this worm.
Not focusing. Yeah, and then when I turned around, like, I thought it was insane, right? I thought the size of that worm was insane enough that I had to take a picture of it. I turned around and I just take like a couple steps and I see like 4 more that big. Anyways, we start sprinting through Bro's vacation so that we can get his cassette player that finally allows us to navigate the ashtray maze.
It will get you through the maze so you can do your job.
We needed a cassette player.
Did that really just happen?
Finish Tango. And we pop our Mission 8 trophy. Immediately back to it so you can see why chat was hyping this shit up so much. I'm here for it. I'm fucking here for it. What the fuck? Song made just for the game, slammed on top of a crazy and trippy combat sequence. Yes. On the other side of the best part of the game is dimensional research, where the slide projector better fucking be, okay? I'm not getting rerouted again. So we solve a puzzle that lifts the shutters, and sure enough, you gave another reasoning. What's happening?
Did he bring you here? Is that why you brought me here? You're here. You're here. They have you.
Wait. Now, honestly, right here, at close to this very moment, I blacked out on some of the story. That shit don't look like a projector to me. Okay? Am I retarded? Basically, I think that this is the object that has been in Jesse's head since the incident. And now the Hiss and Hannibal Lecter are trying to destroy it. And I guess they kind of succeed. Is there more? Oh no, we're good.
The poster comes down and there's nothing there. Let me sleep. I just want to sleep. No, let me sleep.
That was the end of the game? Oh, wait, okay. Thank God. Thank God. I was gonna lose my mind. I was gonna lose my mind. I was like, I just picked up 6 more side quests. Complete mission 9. They don't end games on mission 9. And then we wake up in real life simulator working a boring repetitive job. I actually spent 8 hours here soaking up the nostalgia. And then we find Trench and get this cutscene. Oh, what the fuck? And then just wake up here again. I started tripping a little bit at this point, but when we talked to Trench again, we got this cutscene.
I won't let them win.
He's lost it.
That's how it happened. The hiss got Trench first. He turned on the projector.
But then we woke up here again. Okay, next cutscene.
I know what I must do. I should have seen it earlier. This is my mess to clean up. My fight. No one else's. I am the director.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not Hideo Kojima, alright? Bro, I'm confused. But at least we clear up a little bit of it when we realize that the orb that got destroyed wasn't a projector. Because now we have to shut off the projector. Are you following me? Okay. So turning off the projector is supposed to help Dylan not be one of the hiss.
I know he's still there somewhere. Locked inside.
God, we got him. We got him, coach.
Of control. We're in this together.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I.
You and I moving at the speed of light. Take control. Complete mission 10. I told you they didn't end it on 9. What did I say? And that is mission 10 completed and the end of the main story. Fun? Yes. Closure? No. We did get a cool new outfit though. But now it was time for cleanup, which thankfully for anyone's plans today, we can get through pretty quickly. Starting off with the Foundation DLC. We find Ahti's secret door that actually takes us to the Foundation location. This looks like the door. Upon navigating deeper cave systems than your mother's and traversing astral planes, we make it to the warehouse, where we gotta do some Evil Dead ritual shit and destroy the stone pillar thing, and then get back to the camp where Emily is so she can basically tell us that the Foundation is collapsing and that the hiss and such are bleeding through.
The bleed is localized to this area, but its growth rate seems steady. Given time, it will consume the entire bureau, and possibly beyond.
So on our way to the next location to solve this crisis, I will show you a breakdown of our next trophy. Put the grenade on the rock, pick up the rock, throw it at him. Boom! We make it to the base camp, which literally looks like an abandoned security checkpoint, and we have to go into the collapsed apartment to complete another ritual. I had to drop a crazy shit first though and stepped into the bathroom to let one fly, but all the toilets were flying instead. Apparently this was the astral plane restroom or some shit, so we got a trophy for discovering that. And then we had something almost like the ashtray maze, a little arcade music Temple Run Part 2 quest, where I ended up killing my 50th enemy with the Surge version of the service weapon. Okay. Oh my god. It's Subway Surfers. There we go. This one goes on the AWE trophy list though, because apparently the Surge was an add-on weapon. I didn't know that. And then for cleansing the object and completing the mission, we got the Star Performance trophy for the Foundation trophies. 50 enemies with it, so Star Performance. Complete the side. Okay. And then we arrived at the next shooting of Blair Witch. During the ritual, we choose a weapon upgrade that allows us to break rocks specific to this Foundation DLC area, and then fight Mike Lazowski again, but die before realizing he isn't actually a monster. He just looks like one.
Hi there. Thanks for your help, and, stay out of trouble.
platformer is probably just trying to use me.
I made it back to a control point and spent my 100th skill point for another trophy before returning to the actual bureau to speak to Emily, because I realized there was a side quest I missed from her that we needed for a trophy. Meet Mr. Tomasi. Tomasi is dead. Then I realized I had to kill 100 enemies with an ability I didn't even have. I started off the next day trying to finish the Foundation add-on. Somewhere in the Upside Down, we use the unique DLC abilities a combined total of 100 times. Use Shape and Fracture combined total of 100 times. After traversing a bunch of these astral platforms, we unlock another platform where the third ritual is. When we started, the board tells us that our new friend, Former, shouldn't be spoken to. Brother, I already didn't know what to believe, alright? All I knew was that I wanted the platinum, and if I had to choose a side, it was going to be whatever supported that. Until then, I keep my ass on the fence, okay? We get zapped back to the main Foundation area and keep it pushing to our next objective. We quickly get another Foundation trophy for getting the 50th hiss sharpened, or dulled. Hostile work environment, kill 50 hiss sharpened. I navigated some more caverns and astral parkour before completing the 4th and final ritual.
Easy as pie.
Fuck. But that's the last one. I fixed it, didn't I?
What the hell was all that?
We report our successes to Emily, where she tells us a discovery. This thing in the Foundation right here, they call the nail, and it is failing and falling apart. And it's destroying reality in the astral plane with it, because it like ties the astral plane together or some shit. It like goes through, it like nails through the astral plane and our plane. So where do we have to go? Yes, to the bottom of the nail to find Marshall, because Marshall went to destroy it herself.
I am not letting you take this. Sorry, I wasn't
Nice.
here to help.
R.I.P. the goat. The nice thing is, all we had to do is cleanse it with our special powers, so really, actually, she shouldn't have been down there in the first place. We should have been the first ones down there.
The nail is secure. The hiss can't touch it.
Now, we were in true cleanup mode, okay? It's trash day, boys. We collected 5 ID cards for Emily. Strong Foundation. Complete all missions in the Foundation. Completing the last of the main and side missions in the Foundation. I may or may not have then used a guide, shout out to my guide makers, to find out all the extra hidden locations within the Foundation. I mean, look at this shit, dude. Now, I know the painting was a sign, but my god, the last location was pretty easy, though. I guess I forgot? I don't know. Niche position. Sick. The next trophy for the Foundation was all of its collectibles. Now, for some people, these suck and would take forever, but thanks to my explore as much as I can attitude, there were only 5 more that I needed to go out of my way to find. And they hid the last one in a pitch black shitter, so that was cool. Subterranean research. There we go. Last one. The next thing on the list was collecting all of the Maneki Neko cat things. Listen, I don't know how the fuck to say that, but it sounded pretty good. Moving on. So those hidden walls were crazy, right? So get this. Is this not the one? A double wall break. By the way, you think you find a secret, then there's no indication of another wall break, and there's another wall break with one of the cats in it. So yes, I love my guide makers. You can see all the little cats down there as we glide down, showing that we collected them all. And upon claiming our reward, we make all the e-girls want to spend their money on the game. Gather all the Maneki, I don't know what those are, but I get cat ears. Babe, I have cat ears. E-girl icon. Sony, Control, sponsor me, okay? You know what to do. We also finally smacked our 100th enemy with Shield Bash after I made the executive decision to do it progressively through this cleanup, rather than grind it out all at once. The next trophy was to deploy a ranger and have him kill 5 enemies, so I found a spot, got some enemies low, and let him go to work. Dude, it's like 1 bullet, man. Thank you. Holy shit. Okay, get me out of here. Foundation 100% done. The trophy guys decided to be merciful with the AWE add-on ones, though, only needing 80% of the hidden locations and 80% of the possessed vending machines. Vending spree. I was now diving into the final grind. 25 executive orders. I mean board countermeasures. Again, I had done that progressively through my playthrough, but I guess you just don't realize how much 25 actually is. That's it, baby, with the cat ears and everything. The e-girl platinum thumbnail. Oh,